Over the weekend, Giannis Antetokounmpo took to Twitter for a lengthy Q&A session with fans, answering questions about his favorite teams, cities, and personal preferences. When asked which cities made him the happiest, his answer, Florida cities, immediately caught attention. Naturally, this sparked speculation. Does Giannis have his eyes on Miami? Or is he simply trolling NBA fans? While fans began to run wild with theories, Giannis also named New York as his favorite road city. These answers seem more playful than meaningful, part of a calculated approach to engage fans rather than signal anything concrete about his future. Still, the Miami Heat have long been rumored to have interest in Giannis. According to NBA insider Scoop B. Robinson, the Heat have explored trade scenarios to acquire the two-time MVP. However, Scoop also reported that Giannis may not be interested in joining Miami due to his lack of enthusiasm for Heat president Pat Riley and the team's intense Heat culture. Now, this claim warrants some skepticism. Scoop has NBA connections and sources, but it's difficult to say with certainty how Giannis truly feels about any organization. Nevertheless, if Giannis doesn't want to be in Miami, the conversation ends there. No team trades for a superstar without their willingness to commit. Even if Giannis were interested, Miami faces steep competition. Teams like the Brooklyn Nets, San Antonio Spurs, Houston Rockets, and Oklahoma City Thunder all have far more draft capital and young assets to offer than Miami. Unless Giannis explicitly demands a trade to Miami, the Heat's odds of landing him are slim. Hypothetically, what would a Miami trade package look like? 3 frameworks have been floated, one with Bam Adebayo, one with Tyler Herro, and one excluding both. Realistically, the only route that might appeal to Giannis would involve keeping Bam. The two have mutual respect, and Bam's presence could be a key draw for Giannis to consider Miami. That likely means Herro, Miami's best trade asset outside of Bam, would be part of the deal. He's coming off a season where he averaged 24 points per game and made his first All-Star appearance. The Heat would also need to include younger talent like Nikola Jovic or Kelly Oubre, plus salary fillers like Andrew Wiggins to make the money work. Throw in 2 unprotected first-round picks, likely 2030 and 2032, and several pick swaps, and you might have a competitive offer, though still not the strongest on the table compared to what OKC or Houston could bring. But even if that deal went through, would it be worth it? You'd have Giannis and Bam, but the rest of the roster would be thin. You'd need to rely heavily on unproven players like Jaime Jaquez Jr. and role players like Duncan Robinson. Building a legitimate championship contender around just those two would be extremely challenging, especially in the short term. So the real question becomes, are the Heat trying to win in the next 2 to 3 years, or are they planning for the long haul? If the goal is an immediate championship, especially to potentially secure another ring for 80-year-old Pat Riley, then gutting the roster for Giannis doesn't make sense. Miami would lose too much depth to be a serious contender in the near term. However, if the Heat are willing to take a longer view and build around Giannis and Bam for the next 5 to 7 years, then it's a different conversation. That duo could be the foundation for a future title team, if the front office nails the supporting cast. Alternatively, the Heat might pivot toward another superstar, Kevin Durant. KD has long been a target for Miami, and acquiring him could come at a lower cost than Giannis. A potential package could include Wiggins, Jovic, Duncan Robinson, and picks, keeping both Bam and Herro intact. That move would still give the Heat a top-tier trio and leave flexibility to add complementary pieces. In short, while the Giannis to Miami dream is fun to entertain, the odds and logistics make it highly unlikely, unless Giannis himself forces the issue. Durant, meanwhile, may be the more realistic and productive option if Miami is looking to make a bold move this offseason.